5892. I will be your host, Byron, the bad boy of tambourine, Derksen. And with me, as always, is the Primarch of the Blood Sausage chapter, Sanguicius, Mike Magas.
That's all I have to say about that.
I've been saving that one for like a day and a half. I was going to do it yesterday, but no, you had to get drunk and play Dota all day.
I did not have to get drunk and play Dota all day. I didn't get drunk.
You didn't have to, but you did.
I did neither. I played one round of Dota.
Don't lie to the people.
Played a round of Dota. It took like over an hour because Sean is an unorganized motherfucker. But, you know.
What a bastard.
But we did get it done eventually. It was a pretty good game too.
How dare you make me sit on a line like that for a whole day?
Just going to note that we are about 1 second off our usual time. And that's just me noting that for when I do the editing.
What a bastard.
So we have the Academy race finale here at Sepang. Championship on the line between Nathan Edward and Adalle Fucale. Nathan Edward coming across the line right now. And or not coming across the line. This is the problem with Sepang, is there's two different start-finish lines. And it's the second one that is actually the end of the lap.
Stepanic?
Indeed. Adele's got P4 on the grid. Nathan is P5, so she does have the advantage, grid positionally wise. James Butler on pole. Zoltan Calmande, number 2. And then it's Johnny Major, number 3. And then at the back, it's John Picha, Scott Greenfield, and Tobias Howard.
The Tombstone.
That is Mr. Scott Greenfield's name on the Discord. So we are going to be enjoying 30 minutes of the Sepang GP Circuit. Probably about 15 laps, if I were to guess. And, yeah, actually probably less than 15 laps because it's over a 2-minute lap. But could be 15 on the high side.
Quick question. What's the lap time on, like, the Nürburgring?
Depends on what car.
The full shenanigans on an average car.
Well, like 8 minutes.
Okay.
It's huge. It's huge.
Yeah, no, I knew that. I just didn't know what the average was.
And they are off. Johnny Major with a pretty good start there. He's gotten past Nathan Edward, or actually a terrible start by Johnny Major. I forgot he started third. It's Nathan Edward who's got the really good start. And they're heading into the first corner. It is James Butler from Zoltan Calmande. The championship contenders are going side by side. Will there be contact? A little bit of contact there in Turn 2, but Nathan Edward has come out on top. Now, Nathan Edward's in a bit of an interesting situation, though, in the sense that he needs to get cars between him and Adalle Fucale, because if she finishes on his tail, she is the champion.
Le champignon.
Indeed. She comes in with a over 10-point lead, so the basic permutations is if she gets a podium, she is champion. Nice and easy, wrapped up, nothing Nathan Edward can do. If Nathan Edward wins, she has to finish 4th. So he's in a position right now where he has to overhaul Zoltan Calmande and James Butler to get the title. Byron, what do you think are the chances of this actually occurring?
72.5% that either thing might happen.
There you go. Johnny Major is in 5th place, followed by a little side-by-side action between John Picha and Scott Greenfield in the background, with Greenfield getting the better of it. He moves into 6th position. Greenfield down to 7th. Tobias Howard bringing up the back. This is, of course, the final race for probably about half this grid, as James Butler, Zoltan Calmande, and Nathan Edward are definitely graduating at the end of the season, so that's the top 3. Adalle and Johnny Major are in a little bit of a gray area in the sense that they probably do have some things to learn, but they picked up a fair amount of pace. It makes them candidates for graduation. I will say that Scott Greenfield, John Picha, and Toby Howard will be invited to participate in Academy Season 3, which is going to be radically different than Season 2. I will have an announcement about that when I have full details to be on. And Byron is bored.
Not at all. I was adjusting some props.
Oh, we have props?
I have a prop. The problem is that I adjusted this prop, but then I figured out that I can't do this one-handed.
That's a problem. And sorry to not get you involved in the live commentary of the Intercontinental there, by the way. You would have had fun because it was a gong show.
I watched a bit of the live feed on Travis's shenanigans, and it looked like a fucking gong show to me.
There we go.
I got it. I did it, boys. I did it. Yeah, no, I got to watch some of the, like, I don't know who's organizing this shit, but apparently I can do it better, and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah, it's less than ideal. Basically, the deal is they're renting us time on a server as opposed to just having a server.
Right. Okay. All right. That makes more sense.
So the race just kind of came to a spontaneous end when that time ran out.
Yeah. No, I totally understand. It from what I could hear via Travis's stream, a bunch of shit just went. They did, their practice and the qualifying, and then right off the bat, everything went to shit. Like a whole team, I guess a whole team got kicked out of the whole thing because they're just terrible and ran everybody off the road, and then they had to restart the whole thing again, and they ran out of time later.
No, there was a random droppage of where like 10 cars just vanished from the track. Because probably technical issues. I mean, they were running. Some of them were our guys, so it was not one team.
You're gonna go ahead and blame Martin on this one.
I think the problem in a nutshell.
He's Captain Fiber. He gets the blame.
Well, it's not his server, and he offered to host the server, and they didn't allow it.
Well, somebody f up.
Well, it's their baby, but like the problem is that they're hosting the server in Spain, basically, and those who are unaware, not all of Europe has exactly great internet, and the Iberian Peninsula is one of those places where it's kind of substandard. So it probably works perfectly fine for their regular races when it's, Spanish and Portuguese drivers. That's nice and easy.
The Portuguese.
But once you get into an event that is called the Intercontinental, and therefore North America, South America, Europe, I don't think there are any Aussies involved, but there could be. Anyway, hang on, I'm going to break up my statement here because Zoltan Kalmandi's going for the lead. Johnny Major's going for fourth. Let's see what happens here. Looks like the inside line is going to go to James Butler, so he'll probably retain the lead. Johnny Major is through, but he's through at a very bad spot because he's got the onside line goes to Adalle in that second corner, and she retakes the position. Good driving by Adalle Fucale. Good try by Johnny Major. And James Butler also held it off. So yeah, I think it was just a case of, not preparing for the additional load that server's going to take when you're running an intercontinental event.
Yep, I just saw a lot of exasperation and heard a lot of exasperation, and it looked like a bad time.
The exasperation to me was that it took them like 25 minutes to decide they were going to do a restart, and there was less than 25 minutes left at the end when the server conked out. So it's like you guys had been faster about this, we wouldn't have had any problems. Like, either you're going forward with 12 cars on the track, or we're restarting. And it was clear that some drivers were, let's put it this way, exiting the race to vote for a restart, as it were. And it had gotten down to like 7 cars before they finally went, you know what, we're just going to restart the server. And it's like, could we not have done that 25 minutes ago?
Yeah. By the time they got the race officially underway, I heard a couple comments like, we could have already officially been done the race by now.
Possibly true. I think it would have been very close. But yeah. So that was less than ideal. Mike Stoffmill won, of course. So spoiler there.
I heard that Macau was coming up.
Oh, yeah. We've got live rights to round 4. I should check out what track that is. Is that Macau? Do we have live rights to Macau?
I know you guys have queued Macau up for a couple of different things, and you guys have always pushed out or had problems recording, so we couldn't do commentary.
I think we only had problems recording it the one time.
Sure.
I think it's on the WTCR calendar. So
sure, whatever.
Let's see if Johnny Major tries this move down into turn 1, because I remember after this race talking to Johnny being like, dude, why are you going down the inside of turn 1? It's not going to work.
That's quitter talk.
Zoltan Kalmandi putting the pressure on James Butler again. Zoltan looking for his, I believe, first win in the ESR community, so go Zoltan. James Butler's had a couple in the academy, so, no offense, James, but I am, rooting for the guy who's never gotten to that top step of the podium. Because it's always fun when someone new wins the race.
I can agree.
Also, he's a much cooler car. Like the red and black car versus the pure white James Butler. I mean, I know you're British, but come on.
Whoa, racism.
More like nationalism. And I got a clean bill of health at the dentist today, so that's always nice.
Well done. Didn't have to extract any of your skull?
No. There are still 2 concerned teeth, but they look as they were last time, so they're not going to do anything about them at this time.
Fill it with Bondo!
Also picked up one of those water flossing things, because I have a great deal of problem getting the back teeth flossed properly because of the work that has been done to them.
They put like triple-sized molars in there?
Basically, yeah. My molars are effectively bigger than they should be because they've been rebuilt from the bottom up. And as a result, there's not a lot of gap to work with. So actually getting a piece of dental floss in there is it's actually a bitch.
They put a Hemi in there?
Yeah, totally. So hopefully I can use the water flosser for the back teeth and the regular floss for the front teeth.
Might I recommend just plasma torch?
I don't think that would have the result I'm looking for. It would definitely burn away the plaque and shit, but it would also probably burn the teeth away.
Mo teeth, mo problems.
In the meantime, the top 5 is really close together. You can see them right in that shot there. Very, very close in pace. Scott Greenfield running in 6th, Tobias Howard in 7th, and I do believe we've lost John Picha from the race at this point.
That seems to happen not infrequently.
Oh, contact! Johnny Major has spun around Adalle Fucale in the background. That could impact the championship because that has opened the door for Nathan Edward if he can make a charge, but Nathan's problem here is that with only 7 cars running, and the fact that Adalle is still ahead of Johnny Major down, he really needs to actually make an imprint here on Zoltan Kalmandi and James Butler, and he's not being able to pull alongside them. He hasn't shown the pace that he usually has over these drivers, and I do wonder how much practice he got in, because of course he was very ruffled from the penalties he took at Portimao that gave Fucale the lead in the championship, and I know had been pondering a sit out. Maybe he didn't get the practice in that he needed. But he is running in 3rd, still keeping that chance alive, but he needs Fucale, who is in 4th, to drop back to 6th. So he's suddenly a major fan of Johnny Major, pun intended, and Scott Greenfield.
Juanito Mayor has gone straight heel and taken the chair to the back of the head of Mrs. Fucale and may or may not face repercussions from the GM.
I can comment also from from watching this in spectator mode, where of course you have that damage gauge, which unfortunately is either 0 or 100. So that's going to color what I'm about to say, but that did break Fucale's car. Though again, with the fact that there's a binary 0 to 100 switch basically in the spectator mode, she could be very minorly damaged or majorly damaged, and I don't really know which is the case.
Somebody needs to put more of an analog thing in there.
Yeah, well, the sad thing is it's percentage based, so it's not even like it goes red or something. It's like it goes red and it goes to 100, so it's like you guys intended this to be gradual and it just isn't. She is still ahead of Johnny Major, so we can safely assume that the car is not fatally damaged, but probably isn't handling 100% correctly. I tried to get a good view of it, like, just physically, and I couldn't find really any physical damage, so I'm assuming, I don't know, maybe some minor suspension damage or something is the case. Johnny Major goes down to the inside. She's not really going to have an incentive to defend this hard, but at the same time, that's that move that just does not work. And get ready for the Academy coaching video, guys, because I'm going to be going over that. And Johnny knows, but I feel like I have to remind Johnny that it doesn't work.
Today we're looking at the left add right subtract module. We will be examining how to positract your way around inverse corners and progress through to the draft thingamabob, and I'm running out of material. Please help me.
I clearly need to script you an intro for all the Academy coaching videos.
Try to steal from Band of Brothers and be a total nerd. It only goes so far.
Anyways, James Butler's still under pressure from Zoltan Kalmandi, and I guess that is the big hope for Nathan Edward right now, is that Zoltan goes for something, contacts James Butler, and pushes them both off. He's got over half a race. It just doesn't seem like he has a performance delta anywhere in particular to make it happen.
Are you saying that Nathan has performance issues?
Not at all. Nathan is a competent performer who has done excellent things all season long. He's just kind of taken some inopportune penalties, and it's opened the door to snatch the title away from him.
I say roll out. By the way, I'm sort of sitting on an Andy Blade impression that I'm waiting to do when he's on commentary.
Okay, I will see if we can get Andy Blade on commentary in the near future. We do have upcoming races tomorrow in the WTCR series, and then the day after that in 3D Speed. So we'll have some material coming up shortly.
I was telling the One True Kyle about Andy's visit, and I unconsciously started doing Andy Blade to the One True Kyle. I was like, oh my god, I didn't know I could do that. I didn't know that was in my repertoire. Oh lord. It's not perfect, but it's good enough to be a caricature.
Well, I don't think any impression is ever what you would call 100% perfect. Johnny Major again going for the spot here against Adalle Fucale. Seems to have a bit of an advantage down this straightaway here, so this is probably his best bet. The problem is that you can't really go to the inside there. You got to wait and see if you can set it up for turn 2. But Zoltan Kalmandi still on the tail of James Butler, and you can see that Nathan Edward is actually drifting back of them. He's now 1.3 seconds behind Kalmandi and about 1.5 seconds behind the race leader James Butler, which is really where he needs to be. So if he has anything left in the tank, he's got about a half race to get this done, which is a lot of time, don't get me wrong. But he does probably need to find a little bit of extra pace right now, because he is dropping a fair bit at the moment. And also somewhat shout out to Pluto TV, who I was trying to watch this morning and having great troubles because they don't have a change channel feature, which is interesting.
I don't know what that is or what that means, but I think you've done it all wrong.
It's a free TV service, which has binge watching and stuff. It's nothing terribly current, but if you want to, if you're like I want to watch an old series, they've got you covered. And they also had some glory kickboxing stuff between Errol Spence and or not Errol Spence. I don't remember his last name. The kickboxer, first name is Errol. Anyways, he's fighting Rico Verhoeven, and they had a whole behind the scenes thing.
Oh shit! Yeah, no, goddamn it! Now you're fucking me up with the references. That's gonna bug me for a while. Errol
Zimmerman?
Yes, there you go.
There we are. Zimmerman.
I was also conflicted because I've read Neuromancer like a bajillion times, so there's a character named Errol in there.
Quick,
Errol from Neuromancer, Errol Flynn, which is not the right guy, and the actual kickboxer that I know exists. My brain went a little squirrely.
And then there's the boxer, Errol Spence. That was also thrown off.
I didn't even know about him. That's a good thing.
Adalle Fucale has lost 4th place to Johnny Major, but appears to be coming back at him, and back into 4th.
Drink.
Back into 4th. You know what? He maintained it, I think, for 2 turns, actually, so I'm not sure if that's a drink.
Nope, drink.
Zoltan Kalmandi putting the pressure on James Butler. Now, a note here, though, is Fucale does not have to finish ahead of Johnny Major, so she may just want to let him pass because he's already hit her once, and one would think she may not want to risk getting hit again.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, this does open the door for Johnny Major because, or not Johnny Major, Nathan Edward, because with Fucale back in 5th, He now only needs to make up one spot. He only needs to pass either Zoltan Kalmandi or James Butler. He no longer needs both of them. So the power is in his hands. I mean, it's been in his hands this whole time because Fucale has not been running the top 3, which is
he's got the whole squirrel in his pants.
Hey, whoa! That's we don't need no Bray Wyatt here.
Whoa!
Bray Wyatt doing great things now, actually.
That's what I hear. Haven't watched fucking WWE in like a year and a half.
I watched some highlights, but I refuse to watch the whole show. That's for sure.
I feel like I need to track down some sort of marathon of the Firefly Funhouse because I've been told it's the best thing that's ever existed, but I haven't watched a single moment of it.
I'm personally not that enthralled by it. I have watched a couple of the bits, but you know what? It's fresh, it's new, it's letting Bray Wyatt be creative, which he is very creative, and apparently he has a little bit of creative control even over the character right now. So I mean, there you go.
I've been told he has total control.
I never believe you have total control because at some point Vince McMahon says, yeah, you can't do that. I mean, you're not
Dude, he's got a Vince McMahon puppet that he fed cash to.
I know. I feel like Vince McMahon hasn't been watching his segments, and that's really why he's getting away with this.
It seems likely.
As Zoltan Kalmandi set up for an outside pass attempt there on James Butler. Nothing doing at this time. They continue to pull away from Nathan Edward and Johnny Major. Fucale is dropping for Major quite quickly, so that would imply something to do with the damage to her car is not allowing her to perform to the best of her abilities at the moment. Scott Greenfield is quite a ways back, and right now that's the person that Nathan Edward has to be cheering for, because if Greenfield can catch the damaged car of Fucale and pass her, Nathan Edward is your champion. His other option is, again, he has to catch up to Kalmandi or Butler, and it doesn't seem like he can do that because he's been losing a couple of tenths pretty steadily the last couple of laps, and the gap is now over 2 seconds. So, not sure if he has the pace in him. Mind you, Zoltan and James Butler, don't mean to be terribly rude to these gentlemen, but there is some history of contact between these two, and that is always on the table.
Fire the 4-ton torpedoes.
Ooh, just kind of punched my shelving unit that I moved in beside the desk now. That's not smart, Mike. Not smart.
Do we have to talk about your self-harming issues?
No, it's just I gotta get used to the new layout of the room. I moved some stuff around, and this the problem is this shelving unit sticks out from my desk because it's much wider than the desk is. So it's right beside my chair. There's like this wooden thing that normally I like to kind of have the freedom to fling the hand out. And now it's like
Mike smacks wood regularly. Can confirm.
I mean, yes. But I have freed up a lot more room by my closet, so I can actually access it now. So that's good.
That's good. I mean, blocking it off is never a positive thing.
Yeah, well, it wasn't really a problem in the summertime. Oh, hang on, Zoltan Kalmandi. We'll pick up back with my closet later. Zoltan Kalmandi is in the lead.
Don't mess with the Zoltan.
He has overtaken James Butler. James Butler flashing the headlights. He wants to get back at him. He's coming down the inside of the final turn. Can he make it happen? He does have the inside line. That is a powerful spot to go. And everybody drink, because James Butler is back in the lead.
Drink.
But yeah, while it was summer, I didn't really need much from my closet because it's just got kind of my hoodies and shit in it. So, not hoodie weather. Don't need hoodies.
That seems fair.
Oh, Kalmandi's got the lead back. James Butler going down the inside. Gentlemen, if Kalmandi can hold the lead here, it's another drink. James Butler side by side. Kalmandi shoulders about. Zoltan in the lead. Drink.
All the drink.
So I think James Butler and Zoltan Kalmandi determined to get us drunk. Should be mentioned, Johnny Major is catching up to Nathan Edward quite quickly, actually. I mean, he's still got a ways to go, 7.5 seconds, and under 8 minutes to go. I don't think this is really going to be a thing long term, but it does appear that Johnny Major might be the fastest guy on the track right now. So now that he is free of Adalle Fucale, he is putting pedal to the metal. And maybe that's why Adalle is dropping back out of him more than perhaps the damage to the car. Now, we here at ESR still do not approve of ramming into your opponent's car to take over a position.
Speak for yourself.
You don't speak for ESR.
That is, hey, wait. That's not what the tag says on Discord.
You are the mouthpiece. That does not mean you speak for us. You are color commentary, the finest color commentary. You are to race commentary what Black Snow is to comedic wrestling commentary. I guess that Black Snow was the color guy in that duo. I'm assuming.
One day I am going to totally Black Snow the shit out of this and appear in a race. Booker T, where did he come from?
My co-commentator has left the booth, and oh god, it's Booker T.
Apparently, your boy Booker T and Mrs. Moxley they're gonna have a studio show, like a SmackDown recap.
That sounds ideal, and I don't ever know why they stopped doing the studio show with Renee Young. The Talking Smack show was great
because it made sense, it made money, and everybody got over. That's why they stopped.
I'm not entirely certain that they made money, but the rest of that is definitely true.
It made more money than not doing it.
Zoltan Kalmandi has lost the lead back to James Butler. You can see Johnny Major in the background has caught up by like a second and a half this lap, so I might be wrong when I said that this wasn't really going to come to anything, but he is flying right now.
Juanito Mayor.
Flying.
Juanito Mayor, pure heel, his entire car is made out of steel folding chairs.
We need to make a custom car for him of that.
Mr. Jesse, if you're out there.
We need a folding chair car.
I maintain right now, you haven't seen anything. You need to get involved with that mini thing, and you need to pick, I know which livery you're going to pick.
Is it the Hartford Whalers one?
Maybe.
I mean, that's from what it sounds like, that's the one I'd pick.
Have you seen all of them?
He showed me a couple. I don't know
which ones have you seen?
Showed me like a dozen of them.
You probably seen them.
Okay. Yeah, he did a couple of former. For some reason, you remember I was talking with Martin about CFL, and I mentioned that he had no idea what BC's team was. He was like, "Yeah, you got to make Mike a Rough Riders car, and he'll totally show up." I'm like,
"Fuck off!
What do you even know about me?
Which Rough Riders, and why the fuck would anybody be interested?"
I assume he meant Ottawa because he was saying they were really bad, and I'm like, the Saskatchewan Rough Riders are actually quite good.
What if they did like the Atlantic Schooners?
I'm looking forward to the Atlantic Schooners or Destroyers if they go with that route.
The franchise that never was and never will be.
They're talking about doing it actually.
Sure, for the last 30 years.
No, like they've got an owner lined up. They've got a site for a stadium lined up. Like this one actually
is it going to be hurricane proof?
I assume it will. I believe the idea is that it will be shared between Halifax and Moncton. Moncton is the only Atlantic Canada place with actually a reasonable sized stadium, right? Oh, contact!
It's barely contact. Don't get excited.
I was a little bit of contact.
Listen,
this is like allowing
flitted through the air.
This is allowing Nathan Edward to get really close to them. They're squabbling, and again, he just has to pass one of them to take the title. So the title is still in the balance here. I thought that we had kind of maybe put it to rest a little bit, but the squabbling between Butler and Kalmandi is keeping them from really putting the pedal to the metal right now and driving for the distance. Neither of these guys want to finish second, and it may cost them because they may end up in third.
They will all end in 9th place.
Johnny Major's charge appears to have come to an end. He's actually lost a second the last time around. Also lost a second to Adalle Fucale, so I'm wondering if he just maybe made a mistake on the lap. Yeah, with 3 minutes to go, I think the Johnny Major getting onto the podium is probably a dead story unless one of these cars makes a trip across the infield. Or into a wall. I'm not picky.
Laugh in the pit lane, surely make you lose your mind.
So Butler and Kalmandi are now stretching it a little bit. Nathan Edward has dropped back to 1.4 seconds off of them. He does not have the pace to challenge them, but as long as they are fighting, going side by side and slowing each other down, he is still very much in this. By the way, credit to Tobias Howard and Scott Greenfield. They're kind of racing their own race, but you know what? They're still going, and a lot of people would give up in those positions, which to me is never really made a lot of sense, but people do it.
Listen, I think you need to go back and rewatch the cultural historical documentary, Talladega Nights.
Talladega Nights.
Anybody can win, even if you get disqualified.
Michael Schumacher proved that in real life, actually.
Is that right?
Yeah, he got black flagged, and somehow, the team's like, no, we never saw the black flag. No, never did. No. No. You didn't do a good enough job. You didn't inform us in time.
Didn't happen.
That whole 1994 season is just the most amusing, lack of oversight F1's ever had with the whole... They have traction control and launch control. But they say they can't access the launch control. Yeah, but if you go down to option 13 in the menu, it's a blank option, but it's launch control. How did that get there? It's also perhaps the deadliest season as 2 drivers died, and if you watch the Aiden Millward video on it, it's just every time a driver crashes and breaks a bone, he's like, and he just broke his wrist because everyone else was getting worse.
All I know is time to shift to the 6th gear.
Indeed, we are on the final lap here. It is Butler, it is Calmonti, it is Edward, then it is Major and Fucale. The title is Fucale's as things stand, because I can inform that Nathan Edward and Fucale went through this race without getting a penalty, because the penalty report has been released. And it's down to, can Nathan Edward make up 2 seconds, get into second place?
Nope.
Probably not, because it's looking kind of unlikely, but maybe Calmonti has a need to go for the dive to the inside. Maybe he ends both him and James Butler's... Well, actually, if he ends both him and James Butler's race, then Fucale will still win the title, because she'll move up to 3rd, and that's good enough. But right now, Nathan Edward needs to pass one of these two, or has, by some miracle, Scott Greenfield overtake Adalle Fucale. And I mean, no disrespect to Tombstone when I say this, he's 23 seconds behind Fucale. That's probably not happening.
Make that up with no seconds left on the clock, right?
Totally not a thing, no.
He's just sandbagging, it's alright.
So, James Butler in the lead. We are approaching the end. This is one of the more difficult parts of the track here, is this final sector.
Sector, just look at her.
That turn they just went through there, surprisingly difficult. But anyways, on to the back stretch, I guess. And heading towards the final turn, Zoltan Calmonti comes out of the slipstream of James Butler, looking for a move. Nothing happening at this time. That was probably his last opportunity, though, because heading through the final turn, it is still James Butler, but he gets alongside him at the end.
You're saying that Kalamata couldn't grease his way through?
It is going to be James Butler, your winner. Nathan Edward, 3rd. That is not good enough to take the title. It will be the 5th place car of Adalle Fucale, who comes across the line. We'll have to see what was damaged on her car. Very curious. And here comes Scott Greenfield in the green car.
It's not the... Oh, I was going to say, it's not the green part. The twin babes of the ukulele, victorious once again. Well played. I salute you. I drink in your honor.
Been trying to convince them they need to do a YouTube series of how they decide who gets to race. That could be amusing.
That would be good. Just like a pre-race ritual. Who gets to race? Coin flip, whatever it is. Supercut into race highlights into see, we were right, or oh bitch, what the fuck? You fucked us up.
That'd be good. That's a good idea. There you go, girls.
Done and done.
Make it happen. Byron is available for voiceover work.
Correct. Do you need like audio stings or whatever? I'm in. You just let me know what you need.
Tobias Howard soldiering on to the end. 7th place.
Go Toby.
You know what? This is how Toby got into the top 10 in the championship, though.
Toby.
determination and fortitude.
We like Toby. Toby's a good guy.
I like Toby. I'd like everybody here. Honestly, if you've been a regular in the academy, it's been a pleasure to work with you, to see you grow as a driver, to become better, except for Lachlan Nichols, because I don't think he's become better. I think he would still take my bumper off in
He's scum. We're gonna have him deported to the Philippines.
These descendants of British criminals, what can I say? But anyways, there is your final results. We did lose John Peach, and of course, Jordan Alcolia did not start the race. He had a technical problem. Which is a shame, actually, to be honest. If Jordan had been in there mixing it up, I think that would have livened up the title fight a lot, actually.
That would have been very interesting. He's always very feisty.
Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, the internet was not working. He dropped from the qualifying session twice, and I think at some point just decided this is not going to work.
Jordan muy picante alcoholia.
Mm-hmm. So congratulations on your graduations, Mr. Butler, Mr. Calmondi, and Mr. Edwards. Possible graduations for Mr. Major, Ms. Fucales, and Mr. Alcolia. You're kind of in that gray margin of we'll see what happens.
No, get out.
Indeed.